What could possibly go wrong on a national holiday, a day of joy and celebration? The 2009 attack on the Dutch royal family begs to differ. As the sun shone brightly on the morning of April 30th, in the year 2009, the Netherlands was draped in a festive spirit. It was Queen's Day, or Koninginnedag, a national holiday marked by parades, music, and a sea of people dressed in orange. But this day of joy and celebration was about to take a dark turn. At the heart of the festivities in Apeldoorn, a city known for its rich history and picturesque beauty, the royal family had gathered. Queen Beatrix, Crown Prince Willem-Alexander and other members of the royal family were part of a parade, waving and smiling at the enthusiastic crowds lining the streets. But as the clock neared 12, an unforeseen and horrifying event unfolded. A man named Cast Roland Tates, a 38-year-old Dutch national, drove his car at high speed into the parade. The unsuspecting spectators, who were there to enjoy the day, became victims of a sudden and violent attack. Tates, who hailed from Huissen, a small town in the eastern Netherlands, had no criminal record. His actions that day were as unexpected as they were horrifying. He deliberately drove through the crowd, his car missing the royal family by a hair's breadth and crashing into a monument at the side of the road. In a matter of seconds, the parade turned into a scene of chaos and panic. The festive atmosphere evaporated, replaced by shock and disbelief. 8 people, including Tates himself, lost their lives, and 10 others were injured. As the dust settled, it became clear that this was the first attack on the Dutch royal family in modern times. In a matter of seconds, the parade turned into a scene of chaos and panic. In the face of such an unexpected attack, what followed was a whirlwind of actions and reactions. The immediate response was swift and decisive. Emergency services rushed to the scene, navigating through the chaos to provide immediate aid to the injured. The assailant, Cast Roland Tates, a 38-year-old Dutch national, was among those treated by the fire brigade and police, who worked tirelessly in the midst of the confusion. The car, which had been driven with such destructive intent, ended up crashing into a monument at the side of the road, coming to a halt. The royal family, who had been the intended target of this heinous act, had narrowly escaped the car's deadly path. Their open-top bus had been just about to make its last turn towards the Palace of Het Loo when the car charged through the crowd. The vehicle missed the royal family by a hair's breadth, crashing into a monument instead. The royal family were left shocked but unharmed, their vehicle remaining untouched amidst the carnage. It was a chilling reminder of how close they had come to being victims of this unprecedented attack. Tates, the assailant, was promptly taken into custody and transported to a hospital for further treatment. Despite the harrowing event, the rescue workers and the police maintained their professionalism, ensuring that everyone, including the attacker, received the necessary medical attention. The immediate aftermath of the attack was a scene of utter devastation. The festive atmosphere of the Queen's Day had been brutally shattered. Bodies lay strewn across the parade route, the air filled with the cries of the injured and the shocked gasps of the bystanders. 8 lives had been lost, including that of the attacker, and 10 others had been injured in what had started as a day of celebration. While the royal family escaped unscathed, the same could not be said for the innocent bystanders. The attack had turned a day of national pride into a day of national mourning, leaving a deep scar in the heart of the Dutch people. Who was Cast Roland Tates, and why did he commit such a heinous act? This question has perplexed many since that fateful day in April 2009. Now let's delve into the life of the man behind the wheel in an attempt to understand his motivations. Cast Roland Tates, a 38-year-old Dutch national, was not someone who would have been immediately associated with such an act of violence. Born in Huissen, a small town in the eastern Netherlands, Tates was known as an ordinary man leading an unremarkable life. He had no prior criminal record, making the events of that day even more shocking. What we do know about his motives comes from a confession he made while bleeding in his crumpled car. He admitted that his intention was to hit the royal family. Yet, the question that looms large is, why? Why would an ordinary man with no criminal history suddenly attempt to assassinate the royal family? Some have speculated that Tates was disgruntled or despondent. Reports suggest that he had recently lost his job as a security officer and was facing eviction from his home. Yet, none of these explanations fully account for his drastic actions. Others point to the wider context of the time. The global financial crisis had hit the Netherlands hard, with many people losing their jobs and their homes. Was Tates lashing out at symbols of power and privilege in a time of great personal and national hardship? While these theories provide some insight, they can only offer us conjectures. The real motivations of cast Roland Tates died with him in the hospital the day following the attack. His actions have been described as those of a lone attacker, an individual act of madness that was as unpredictable as it was horrifying. Tate's motives, while confessed, remain an enigma, a chilling reminder of the unpredictability of such attacks. The chilling reality is that we may never fully understand why Tates did what he did on that fateful Queen's Day in 2009. As the news of the attack spread, the nation reacted with shock and mourning. The joyful mood of Queen's Day, a beloved national holiday, was abruptly shattered. The unthinkable had happened. The Dutch royal family, a symbol of unity and stability, had been targeted in an act of violence, leaving the nation in a state of disbelief. The first reaction was a swift and immediate cancellation of the day's festivities. The city of Apeldoorn, where the attack had taken place, led the way. By 12:15 in the afternoon, local time, it was announced that all planned celebrations in the city were called off. But the ripple effect didn't stop there. As word of the attack echoed across the Netherlands, other cities followed suit. In Rotterdam, Amsterdam, and numerous other places, the celebrations were either cancelled, shortened, or significantly toned down. A day of joy and pride had been transformed into a day of grief and mourning. But the response didn't stop at the cancellation of festivities. A powerful symbol of unity and respect emerged in the form of the national flag. Across the country, people spontaneously lowered their flags to half-mast, a poignant mark of respect for the victims. This gesture of solidarity was echoed by the government, with Prime Minister Jan-Peter Balkenende announcing the order to lower all flags on government buildings to half-mast. In the midst of shock and sorrow, the Dutch nation came together. The attack may have been intended as a blow against the royal family and the unity they symbolized. But the response was anything but division. From the spontaneous lowering of flags to the collective decision to cancel the day's festivities, the Dutch people sent a clear message. In the face of tragedy, the nation stood united, mourning the loss of their fellow citizens. The attack on Queen's Day, while a dark chapter in Dutch history, also served as a testament to the strength, resilience, and unity of the Dutch people. An incident like this leaves lasting scars, not just on the victims but on the entire nation. Indeed, the 2009 attack on the Dutch royal family was a shock to the system, an unforeseen act of violence against a beloved institution. The immediate aftermath saw a nation in mourning, with flags flying at half-mast and public celebrations muted or cancelled. But in the wake of the tragedy, a deeper, more profound change took hold. The attack prompted a nationwide conversation about the security of the royal family and the balance between their accessibility to the public and their safety. The royal family, particularly Queen Beatrix and Crown Prince Willem-Alexander, are cherished figures in the Netherlands. Their public appearances a long-standing tradition that fosters a sense of unity and national pride. But with this tradition came vulnerability, a fact made painfully clear by the events of that fateful Queen's Day. In response to the attack, security measures were significantly tightened for royal events. The open-top bus, once a symbol of the monarchy's openness and connection with the people, was replaced with more secure modes of transportation. The royal family's itinerary became less predictable, and the police presence at public appearances was noticeably increased. Yet, despite these changes, the royal family remained committed to maintaining their connection with the Dutch people. They continued to make public appearances, albeit under tighter security, and the tradition of Queen's Day, now King's Day, endured, its spirit undimmed. The 2009 attack also served as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace. It showed that even in a country known for its tranquility and order, violence can erupt unexpectedly. But it also highlighted the resilience of the Dutch people. In the face of adversity, they came together, united in their grief and their determination to move forward. The 2009 attack on the Dutch royal family, a dark day in the nation's history, is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the strength of a nation in the face of adversity.